Hey everyone, welcome back to Coded Row. In this video, we are going to be going over some of our guns. We're going to be creating some new weapons, new models, and making them look nice in our inventory and adding some new thumbnails that came with the Synty Sci-Fi HUD pack. So let's go ahead and get started with our ACF and Synty Sci-Fi Shooter Series Part 3 in Unreal Engine 5. So I'm going to head over to Content, Full Sample, Blueprints, Items, and Weapons. And this is where our default ACF weapons are. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to be creating a blueprint class, which is going to be a child of the ACF Ranged Weapon Master BP, like so. And for now, I'll just call this new gun because I'm not sure what type of gun this will be, and double click to open this up in the blueprint editor. And now I'm going to go over to my Synty stuff and just look for some static meshes of a new gun. And let's go with this SMG. So I need a skeletal mesh of this. So in order for me to do that, I actually need to go over to edit plugins and look for the skeletal mesh editor, skeletal mesh editing tools, and restart my project. And I'm just going to look for that gun again, right click and convert to skeletal mesh and click convert. So now we have a skeletal mesh version of this, which is what we need for our ACF weapon. So now when I head back into the folder and select new gun, I'm actually just going to call this the ACF underscore SMG underscore 01. Double click to open this up. And now we can start configuring our blueprint. So I'll open the full blueprint editor like so. And the first thing I'm going to do is just select the skeletal mesh asset that we created. And we can also take a look at it in the viewport. And by default, when we create this, we can also adjust the left handle IK, which we'll be doing at the end when we actually equip this on our character. So now when we scroll down and see ACF, you'll see a projectile start socket called projectile start. And over here, we can assign our shooting effects like Niagara particles, and action sounds. And in this case, what we need to do is actually assign or create a socket called projectile start in our skeletal mesh asset. So when I open this up, I preferably want my projectiles to come right at the tip of this gun right here, where the bullets will leave the gun. So what I'm going to do is right click, add a socket, and I'll call this exactly how the name is, projectile start. And then I will place this right in front of this bullet hole, like so. And now I need to find some action sounds or Niagara particles or action particles. And luckily, ACF already comes with some muzzle flash particles that we can use. So I'll just search for muzzle flash and use this P underscore muzzle flash. And for the action sounds, I actually want to look for something more sci-fi-ish. So I have these sci-fi weapons sound effects that I'm going to add to my Synty project. You can really use whatever you want since these are just audio clips. Then I'm going to select these gunfires to work with the gun, and I'm just going to select all of them and create a single queue like so. And I'll call this sci-fi gun SFX. And I'll double click to open this up, and you'll see that all of the ones that I selected are now connected to a random node and then an output. And this looks good to me. So now I'm just going to go back to my SKM or go back to my ACF SMG and select that action sound that I created called Sci-Fi Gun SFX, just like that. And we can play with the volume later after we just see how loud this is in game. So I'll hit compile and save. And now we want to start adjusting some of our other ACF stuff, such as our ammo, projectile shoot configuration, weapons, and so on. So for this gun, I am going to consume ammo and leave this checked, and the ammo slot for this will be item slot.ammo. And this will just ensure that whatever ammo we have in our item slot, it's going to be using the ammo from there. And we're going to have an allowed projectiles. And the projectile we're going to allow this to have is going to be our ACF bullet BP. So this will be the ammo that it's going to consume as well. And we're going to be using magazines, and let's set a magazine size of something like 32 or even 54 in this case. And after every 54 shots, we're going to have to reload. And over here, we can set our projectile speed. So it depends how fast you want your bullet to go. I'll just set this to something like 5,000. Shoot radius, I'll do 2. And shoot range, I'll do something like 5,000. I want it to be pretty long. And I'm going to set this as a two-handed weapon. And I will use the left hand IK weapon or left hand IK position because we will be adjusting that over here using this left handle IK position. And this weapon type will be our item.weapon.range.rifle, which is already made in ACF for us if you're using the sample. And for the moveset, I'm just going to use the rifle moveset and select that for the rest of these. So for the overlay and as well as the actions. And now we need to get our on body and in hand socket name. So I compile save and I want to go back to my ultimate map, look for my ultimate player character, double click to open this up, go to my skeletal mesh, and I'll just open this up and I'll right click and click find skeleton. And I'll just double click to open this up. And now you'll see that, oh, I already have a rifle in my hand. So I'm just going to look for the names of these sockets. So you'll see I have one called rifle equip, which is going to be the one that when I carry the rifle on my back. And my hand, which is on my right hand, is going to be called it's just called rifle. So rifle equip and rifle are the names of the sockets that we need. So I'll go back to my weapon and under on body socket name, I'm going to type in rifle equip. And for the in hands, it's just called rifle. So now under our item info, so under equipable, you can have some sort of equip sounds if you want, and when you unequip, and also modify the attributes here. But for me, I'm just going to go down to item info, and look for a thumbnail. So in my sci-fi Synty, I'm just going to look for the name of my SMG, which is SMG01, and I already have one right here. So I can either use something like this, which looks better if I'm going to be equipping this, or something like this, which looks a lot better as a thumbnail. So I'm just going to copy this, hit F2 on this to copy the name using Control C, and paste this as a thumbnail right here. And I'll call this something like SMG01, and the description will be a high rapid firing SMG. And for the world mesh, I can just select the SMG01 like this to make it droppable. And now we do have to select an item slot for this. So make sure you add an array item in here and set this item slot to item slot.range. And this is suitable for the ACF sample and ultimate template. But if you want to check which item slot it's going to be going to, head over to your ACF ultimate character, go down to ACF equipment and inventory component, and under starting and under available equipment slot, you'll see where your items can be equipped. So for example, we're going to do index 1, which is our item slot, testing our gun out. So what I'm going to do is head over to my ACF ultimate character and go down to the ACF equipment and inventory component. And now scroll down to where you see starting items and click on this plus sign to add an item. And I'll expand this so that I can look for the item class name, which is called ACF underscore SMG01. So now I'll hit compile and save and go back to my ultimate map and hit play. And now I'm going to hit I for my inventory, and you'll see the thumbnail kind of popping out here for the SMG01. We'll see the description on the right, which says a high rapid firing SMG that we created. And I'll just select 3 to open this, or select it. And you'll see our rifle is a little high, but no worries. We can easily just lower that by going to our skeleton, selecting rifle on our back. So rifle equip. And I'll actually go back to my map and put this in its own window so I can see it live. So I'm going to select world relative transform just to make this go down perfectly. And I'll set the rifle on my back like so. And I'll just adjust this. And this looks good to me. I'm going to unequip my swords. And you'll see now and now you can see that my rifle is on my back and it looks pretty good to me. Now one thing is when I actually equip this, let's see how it looks in my hands. So it looks fine in my right hand, but my left hand is very out of position. So in order to fix that, I'm going to leave this running in play, and I'll go back to my ACF SMG01 blueprint, and I just need to adjust that left hand IK position, kind of like we did in our last video. So I'll have my left hand grab something around here, and my hand is a little weird just because it doesn't have, it's technically a 3-fingered guy, but I'm totally fine with it. I think I'll leave my hand somewhere here. Maybe a little outwards. Okay, this looks fine to me, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna exit out of this so I can compile and save this. And now when I hit play and equip my gun, and I'll hit 3 to take it out, and now we can actually try. So it sounds pretty insane. It is a little loud, so I do want to decrease the volume. I'm gonna go back to the sound effect of the gun. So it's called Sci-Fi Gun SFX. Volume multiplier, I'll just do like 0.4. And now I'll try it out. And that's a little better to me, but I'm going to edit it to lower the volume for you guys in the video because it is going to be really loud. So it is pretty OP, not gonna lie, but I think I like it. And now we can also just go back to the pistol that we created and copy over that hit marker. Because as you can see, our hit marker is gone now, and that's because we made a modular way of adding hit markers per weapon. And in a Synty combat framework, your weapon technically spawns when you equip it. So right now, this is just in SMG01 class, so it's just data. But when I click on this, it actually spawns into the world, which will now utilize that hit marker equipment. But let's go ahead and actually adjust that. So I'll double click to open this up. And I also want to open up my pistol BP. And all I really need to do is just copy paste pretty much everything here. And I'll look for the on item equipped and on actor damaged. So I'm just going to right click, look for event on item equipped, and then right click this and code function like so. And I'll just paste the function that I made. And I also want to right click this hit marker WBP and create this variable like so. And then under the collision component, I want to look for on actor damaged and then plug this into this valid node over here. And the rest will just do the work. All right, so the fix for this is when you go to your ACF or your new gun, you're going to scroll down and change range from shooting type to shoot, swipe, trace. And this will, for some reason, allow our hit marker to work. We'll see the hit marker pop up like so. And yeah, that pretty much covers part 3 of our ACF and Synty sci-fi shooter series. And we were able to successfully create a gun, give it a nice thumbnail, attach where bullets come from, and adjust our left-hand IK position, and again, add hit markers, and with some cool sci-fi sound effects. Thanks for watching Coded Row. Like, subscribe, comment below what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.